So this is actually a really smart play on Monty's part. He was trying to bait them to fight in Karthus's his AoE right there, which it started to work. They went to go on him and they realized, oh wait, Karthus is still up and he's still doing damage to us. And at that point when they went to turn around, it was too late and Ezreal got a free kill. So that was a very smart move. Really abusing the mobility that Ezreal has. Not quite as much as the Riven that's trying to kill him right now, but very nice. So now we see that we're getting some objectives taken, and now towers are being pushed. So this is going to be the end of the laning phase, which is now right around the 20-minute mark, I believe, for both videos. Yeah, sitting around the 20-21 minute mark. So in almost any game, this is when you'll start to see towers dying, dragons being taken, and lanes being pushed. So you're going to see people leaving top lane, leaving bottom lane, starting to group up in mid, maybe roaming around the jungle a bit, and trying to make things happen. So now you'll see Wind Shaman, he has his Triforce done. He also grabbed some cooldown boots, which again, going on a build from about a year ago. Now, I keep criticizing the build, not because it's bad. It's still a strong build. I'm not bashing the quality of the build, but it's the amount of synergy that Triforce has in compared to Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer is just you can't compare really. So cooldown boots with Triforce, really nice because you can spam your Qs and use your E to escape a lot. But I'm not a huge fan. I'm a much bigger proponent because if you look at the costly items, Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer, they seem very expensive. But when you combine the two, it brings the value of the items up tremendously, and that's a thing a lot of people overlook. But now here's going to be a big component to both teams winning their games. Yeah, I know, a little bit of a spoiler, but most people that submit generally aren't going to be losing. But that's going to be their awareness and team positioning, or the positioning in team fights. So you just saw Wind Shaman jumping behind a wall and continue to poke a Corki, which was fantastic because Corki has no idea where Ez is at that point, and Corki's just taking free damage. But Wind Shaman, he did die, but at the same time, it resulted in Corki dying as well. Now here's something I'm not a big fan of. Even though in Wind Shaman's game, the other team isn't that farmed, not that fed, you're still seeing a bunch of people sitting bot, and there's no vision on Baron. There's no vision in their jungle. They have no idea what's going on. So it's not a very good choice to leave Baron just wide open like that, because when your whole team's down there farming, they have vision, because their creeps give them vision, and they know that all you guys are down there. But I'm saying that, there's a team fight breaking out, and if you notice, Wind Shaman's positioning is spot on. He's not taking any damage, he's just sitting there as a human turret, essentially, just laying into everything that's around him. Very, very nice job. Now, in Mondi's case, he's sitting there, he just got a free kill. Janna got a free kill, and forced him out of their jungle. If Janna had a ward, she should place it right in that bush for blue, just in case nothing gets picked off. But I believe Brand pops out at one point. Yeah, Brand pops out right here. Mondi charges in thinking that it's just Brand, and the rest of the team's waiting right there. That's a pretty just poor decision making right there. Kind of jumped the gun, got a little greedy. That's something you got to think about. Even though people are running away, if you don't have vision, they could always come right back and try to bait you into a bush like that. So here, another standard play, as I use air quotes, taking another dragon pretty much shortly after it spawned. And now clearing out the jungle and going to buy. Standard. Starting to sound like day 9. Now looking at Mondi's game, his team is pretty fed right now. I don't know if you can see the scoreboard. Even though it's 26 to 26, which is even. They have more towers. They have more objectives. They stole buffs. So the dragons, the towers, and the buffs, the gold starts to add up. So they're even on kills, but at the same time they're probably 3 to maybe 3,500 gold ahead, which is what's giving them such a huge advantage. Now once again, Wind Shaman farming bot with no vision on Baron. No vision on Baron, but one really good thing is he's starting to build Infinity Edge. That's a huge item. Infinity Edge is such a good item. Like, I don't think I can stress it enough. Now here's the thing though. He has Triforce, he's getting Infinity Edge. What? I like the Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer combo, but if you have a Triforce and get Infinity Edge, you're already pretty late in the game. The next item you should be thinking about building, since people are going to be having armor items, whether it be tabby boots or just chain vests and frozen hearts and whatnot, you're going to need a Last Whisper. I don't know if Wind Shaman goes for Infinity Edge or if he goes for Phantom Dancer. I think people do start to understand that, oh, Infinity Edge increases my crit damage by 20%. Let's get items with crit. And that makes sense. But not when you have a big item like Triforce already. Because then a lot of your damage is starting to get mitigated at that point because people will be buying armor. Now here's something I need to point out that Mondi's kind of been failing on the entire game. His teammates will be getting low, and he just leaves heal on cooldown. You don't have summoners just to save yourself. You're not going to win teamfights just by saving yourself. You got to use summoners almost aggressively to keep your team alive, because the more teammates that stay alive in teamfights, that's more gold you're denying the enemy team from kills and assists. At the same time, that's more of an opportunity to take towers and take other objectives around the map. So the Wind Shaman's team, they kind of got caught in a team fight right here. But what's going to make him break the team fight is the positioning that Wind Shaman takes. He gets the hell out of all the damage. So Cork is only focusing him, and he just manages to dodge a lot of quickie skill shots and whatnot. So he is pretty well set on health. That leaves the rest of his team to soak more damage. I mean, it's kind of a almost mean thing to do, but as an AD carry, you need all that damage to not be touching you at all. So you can just run right into the mix at half the full health and just finish off everyone else, which is the role of the AD carry, is just to stay alive and to do as much damage as possible. The rest of the team, even the mid lane, they're pretty much there to soak for the AD at the later stage of the game. So Mondi getting a little too over-aggressive again, getting baited into places that he doesn't have vision. So that leads to his demise. That could possibly be his biggest weak point in his gameplay, is that he likes to chase when he thinks he can get a kill, but he'll come around a corner with no vision and wind up dead. So now looking at the Wind Shaman's game, they're getting to a pivotal point in play right now where a lost team fight could lead to a Baron. So right now, he actually just took a great position. Even though he kind of got caught near Dragon, he used his E to hop over the wall and pretty much bait the rest of the team away from his support and talent, which is a really, really good job, because the other team, they want him dead. They know how much damage he does, and they want to get that Ezreal dead as soon as possible. So they turned immediately and went for him, even without the vision. Very smart move. But just as I called, he did go for the Infinity Edge, the Phantom Dancer, to combine it with the Infinity Edge. I mean, it is nice to see those big crits, but as Ezreal, your passive already gives you a lot of attack speed, as long as you're landing skill shots. So it's better to go for that big sustained damage with the Last Whisper, which gives you a ton of armor pen. Because when the other team has a bunch of armor, your crits could be really nice, but then at the same time, they're not going to be doing as much as a normal attack will if you have Last Whisper. So it's just that's another little detail you want to think about, because you're not going to be critting every single time unless you have crit runes and maybe another Zeal. So in my mind, I think it would be better to be doing constant damage, because as the AD carry, as long as you're staying alive and hitting things, you should be doing a ton of damage. And you shouldn't be trying to rely on crits. So now we got Wind Shaman's team taking Baron, and it looks like Mondi's team's also gearing up to do Baron. So we got two Barons going at the same time. Once again, just seeing the time of these things, even though they're two almost very essentially different games, or they are two very different games in terms of team comp and how the games have been working out, the timings are all still the same. So in the back of your head, you got to be thinking, all right, 36-minute Baron for Mondi, 37-minute Baron for Wind Shaman. It's all in the 35 to 38-minute range on Baron, which that's a pretty safe Baron time. Higher ELO, you'll see more around 27, 28. But again, that's just what happens. There are just bigger time differences in objectives because of gold farm and just teamwork. So Mondi's team the other team ended up surrendering, so that game is going to come to a close. And it seems like Wind Shaman getting caught, I kind of fast forwarded through that, but not that big of a deal because his team is so far ahead that they're going to do all right. Well, my prediction was rather incorrect. It wound up in an ace against Wind Shaman's team, but let me see the score. 36 to 36. Kill-wise, they're even, but once again, they got a Baron, they got a couple Dragons, and they do have a lot more towers down, so they're just overall ahead no matter what, even after that ace. Kind of fast forwarding it, because at this point in the game, it's more or less when they're going to win, just because they have such a gold advantage and a lot of the other team's champions fall off. So as long as Wind Shaman doesn't die, there's no reason that they should lose. Once again, getting some very nice positioning, staying behind his beefier teammates. So Renekton will try to chase him down because, once again, they want him dead because of all the damage he does. But, oh, this is interesting, I didn't notice. He got a Gunblade, which everything from the Gunblade he scales off of. The AP he scales well with, AD scales well, Spell Vamp, and Lifesteal. So it's a nice item, but at the same time, he doesn't have that much magic damage to begin with, and I think a Last Whisper just would be better overall. But in closing, to the Wind Shaman, I apologize. I know that you asked for me to go over the harassment you were receiving, but I'm going to do another video on that just as a general thing, because harassment in games, in some ways the harasser can be right, but they just go about it in the wrong way. And I'll just take care of that in a whole nother video. With that being said, this style of video is pretty new for me, and I think for other people too. But I hope that you guys got a lot out of it, because the term standard gets thrown around a lot, and I don't think people have a strong grasp of what that actually means in terms of gameplay. So hopefully this gives you more of a look of an overall view of the game. In terms of like taking objectives and when to fight, when not to fight, when to expect fights to happen, and so you know where to position around the map and with your team. So with that being said, this will close out another game, and send me replays. Please send me replays. I am dying for replays. I need more games. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys next time.